Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. This is a webinar on CloudHive. It is the Hillstone's distributed cloud security platform and micro-segmentation solution. CloudHive belongs to as a product inside the Cloud Workload Protection Platform, CWPP. So let me expand a little bit about this term. The CWPP Cloud Workload Protection Platform is a phrase that actually came up by Gartner about 2 years ago. It is not exactly a single product category. It's more like a framework that if you're interested in cloud security, you should be, the sort of security issues you should be worried about in your environment. It is organized in a pyramid way. The products close to the bottom, the issues close to the bottom are more fundamental, more critical, and the issues to the top are comparatively less critical. So on the very bottom, you will see some basic, security issues like admin privilege, change management, logging, etc. That you will see infrastructure security, network firewalling, visibility, micro-segmentation, etc. So Hillstone's CloudHive in this specific layer is a fairly fundamental security aspect of your virtualization's environment. Talk about the security challenges in the cloud. So here are some of the questions that you may wonder about your virtualization environment. Some of them are maybe easier to answer. For example, how many hardware servers do you have? How many VMs do you have? You probably knows virtualization well enough to answer those questions. So how about how many networks do you have in your virtualization? How many VLANs do you have? It's probably a little bit harder, but it's probably also for a more well-managed environment, you probably have it documented somewhere also. More involved questions. Okay, for example, how much traffic on each of the VM right now? What about the traffic in between two VMs? Are there any interaction between two specific VM? What kind of application is running on each VM? Do you have VM that's being compromised? Do you have VMs that's being attacked? Those are the questions. So without any tools that help you, it's actually very hard to answer those questions. So, in order to get the security under control for a virtualization environment, you need some tools that to help you, understand your environment better. So CloudHive is such a tool. First of all, it offers deep visibility into VMs. After the visibility, you can also do security control, including micro-segmentation, including security functions like IPS and AV, etc. Very easy to deploy. You can do incremental deployment without affecting your existing business application. And later on, we'll also talk a little bit about the distributed architecture that applies. And CloudHive show you. Once you install CloudHive, you are able to see all the traffic in your virtualization environment. Both the north-south traffic and the east-west traffic. So you can see interactions between VMs, even if they are on a layer 2 domain. So there are several aspects. You can see the information. There's an application aspect. So you can see how much, how each VM, what application each VM uses. And you can look at pair of VMs. What are the application traffic in between those pair of VM? Status like that. There's another aspect which is the threat aspect. So if the system CloudHive detects threat events, it will be able to see, for a specific VM, what kind of attacks it's being under, and the history of attack events on that specific VM. And also, if you have a pair of VM, you can actually see whether there are actually attacks going on between those two VM. There's also you can also see the traffic aspect. The top 10 traffic by session, top 10 traffic by volume, things like that. And all of these information actually are fairly detailed. You can click on the charts and actually be able to drill down to see the details information. So in the visibility, we also can show you the logical grouping between the different VMs inside your virtualization environment. So in this case, you can see actually it has actually 4 VLANs, and each VLAN has a specific number of VMs. And all this graph, the VLANs can actually collapse into one, or you can have an expanded view. And actually you can see detailed transaction or detailed traffic between pair of networks, also pairs of VMs. In those in that diagram, we'll see gray lines as well as red lines. The gray lines are if you don't see any problematic traffic attacks in those interaction. Red lines means actually there is attacks or threats that will actually being discovered on that interaction. The bottom screen, you can see again the 3 view, the application, threat, and traffic view. Click on one of the line, it will be able to show you the interaction in one of the 3 views, either application, or threats, or things like that. After the visibility, all you want to do probably is actually to have a better control, better security for your system. CloudHive offers micro-segmentation as well as application level security. What is micro-segmentation? So in terms of in virtualization environment, you may have a VLAN or you may have a flat layer 2 networks. What micro-segmentation can enable you to do is actually segment the flat network into specific segments. So one way you may want to do is probably to segment by departments. So let's say you have different departments, each have different set of VMs. What you can do is actually have groups, group VMs belong to the same department together, and actually have a logical segmentation. You can also segment by function. You may have web servers, you may have database servers, what have you, of different applications maybe. And you can also group servers together and group application servers together, maybe group database servers together, and also enforce policy between the application and the database. In that case, we can actually we support application and user control, so we'll enable you to have a very fine-grained control of what can go on between the 2 VMs. So instead of allow everything between the 2 VM, you can allow only specific application or specific ports. CloudHive also support application security. So there are firewall functionality, WAF functionality, IPS, active attack defense, antivirus, etc. So those are functionality, security functions available to you. You can apply those security functions to policies, between groups of VM or between VMs, and be able to filter out the bad traffic. Okay. these are the functions, security functions we have, we support in CloudHive. So application control, you see all these functions actually are developed in the, as a security engine in Hillstone for a very long time. And, for example, application control, IPS, AV. So these functions are now available inside CloudHive and also sort of in a distributed fashion. It can scale up with your number of servers. It can scale up with your, bandwidth, with your server capacity. So, basically, it's generally a mature technology that we expand to the virtual environment. So I want to talk about improved productivity. So it's actually very easy to deploy. Inside, if you have a existing deployment of VMs, virtualization environment, you can deploy the CloudHive beside it, alongside virtual machines and virtual networks. So it will not affect any of your existing running applications and maybe your critical applications, etc. So it will not touch that. So after it is deployed alongside your existing application, what you can do is you can selectively move some of the VM and protect it under CloudHive. Maybe in the beginning you want to be cautious. You only want to move some of the non-critical application to the CloudHive and see how it's going. So you can selectively add those virtual machines to CloudHive, and they will be protected by CloudHive's micro-segmentation and and application security. The rest of the virtual machines in your environment will not be touched. They can still work as before. So this is actually a very good feature. Help you slowly migrate all your existing environment to the CloudHive protection. It basically shows you after you move into CloudHive, you can apply different policy to traffic between the VMs, right? So both north-south traffic and the east-west traffic. A policy assistant feature that's available inside CloudHive. This policy assistant. Policy assistant is basically the system you can configure for example, wide policy, a more wide open policy in the beginning, and let the system learn what are the existing traffic going on between the VMs. So in the beginning, maybe you don't know what's going on between the VMs. You don't want to accidentally deny things that should be working. What you can configure is a more wide open policy in the beginning. And after a period of time, the system is going to learn what are the existing traffics that's been going on between the VM. Review the traffic and see which one are the legitimate traffic versus illegitimate traffic, and be able to configure policy to more fine-grained control your virtualization environment. Then this is a way to help you migrate, because frankly, in a lot of environment, the administrators doesn't really know what's going on between the given the complexity of the number of VMs and complexity of the interactions. It's hard to know the complete picture between the interactions. Way to help you do that. Okay, next I'm going to talk a little bit about the distributed architecture of CloudHive. So CloudHive is a distributed security. So inside the system, it's actually a collection of VMs. The control VMs reside on different physical servers and give you the high availability. So even if one of the control dies or the server dies, the system is still up. Okay, you don't lose the whole system. The processing VMs, there's actually one processing VM on each physical system. So you can see the light green box. That's actually one of the processing VMs. So it resides, there's one on each system. And that local VM actually process all the security for all the VMs on that physical server. So there's no additional traffic that need to be to actually pass all the traffic. For example, the solutions, central solutions, the traffic need to be passed from the server to maybe a pool of VM in order to be able to process. In this architecture, all the security processing actually is processed locally on that physical server. So it's very scalable. So when you add a server, you add one on this VM, and this system scales up with when you scale up your server farm. Very easy to deploy, as I mentioned before. So it's everything is a single management. Even if you see all those different VMs on different physical server, actually the physical UI you look like one big firewall. Okay, there's a single pane of glass, single management whole system. The deployment is fairly flexible. It can be deployed on layer 2 mode. It can be deployed in tab or inline transparent mode, and it will not affect your existing topology. This is one of the use case, just here for illustration. So one of the customer that bought CloudHive, the government agency, and before deploying CloudHive, so this is what his virtualization environment looked like. There's a bunch of virtual machines all in a flat layer 2 network. Really know who is talking to who. And of course, there's a very obvious security issue is if one of the VM get hacked, it can easily spread to tens or more other VM. So basically, what they actually do is actually deploy the CloudHive in order to do security control in this environment. Deploy CloudHive, this is what they're going to see on their control panel. So we're going to show them how many networks do they have. In this case, actually, they actually have 2 networks. So the right network is actually light green. Network has expanded. It has this many VMs inside. Actually show him all the interactions between the VMs. The picture, you can also see some red lines. Red line means there's stress being detected on those interactions. Actually, below the picture, when you click on one of those lines, it shows you the stress that's been discovered. So I believe in this customer, we actually found that one of his VM is already being hacked. It's a very easy. So in many of the customers, we deploy this CloudHive, and immediately we'll find something. Either it's a tag or maybe some unintended interaction that already happening in the customer's environment. The CloudHive is support the popular cloud orchestration, supports VMware. We support many different versions of VMware, both with an NSX and without an NSX. So it works with an NSX and without. We are VMware certified. CloudHive also works with OpenStack, many different versions. We also work with some private orchestration software based on OpenStack. So this is the final slide. It's CloudHive's value proposition. It gives you deep visibility into your VM, both north-south and east-west traffic. It gives you fine-grained protection. It can control the traffic between east-west, in between VMs, as well as north-south, going in and out of data center. It can effortlessly scale. It's easy to deploy. Doesn't affect your existing. You can choose to deploy more or less of the CloudHive and keep your existing application running. And it's very easy to manage and efficient, and it's going to reduce your total cost of ownership in terms of security solutions. That's it. Thank you. Sit down to the demo session.
Yes, this is Yan from Hillstone. So, now let me show you guys the CloudHive demo. Now you we already log into the CloudHive. So after you log in, the dashboard will show you the whole picture of your cloud environment. So you can find just like a team site. It's a single management point, and you can use this one to see all the information and do the management for your whole virtualized environment. From the dashboard, you can find the landscape and the total traffic, total VM, top 10 VMs by traffic, and top 10 applications by traffic, and system information. You can find this one is totally same as our traditional firewall. So we give you a traditional firewall view to management all the virtualized environment. And we have some security service status. It shows me our CloudHive components status. And we have some basic system information and the status, just like how many physical hosts you have, how many CPU lattices you have, and the VMs and the networks. If you want to get more detailed information, the first one, after you deployed CloudHive, the first one, we got all the VMs information automatically. So we got all the VMs names and network adapters, IP address, and the networks information automatically. We sync it automatically from cloud management platform like vCenter or OpenStack. So the first one, you got all the VMs information. And we got all the VLANs, your networks information, and all the physical host information. And you can also find how many CPU you have, so you can calculate how many licenses you need. And we have some service VMs status. This is just can help you to monitor all the components. Yeah. So this is our first one we got. We got all the cloud, the virtualized environment information for you. And so after we got all the VMs information, and we have very, very unique features. So you can find, we can change the time period to the last 30 days. And you can find, yes, the network traffic. So we can find from the VM networks, we have traffic in and traffic out. And if you click this direction from the external network to VM networks, you can find the applications information and the thread information and the traffic information. And if you click another traffic, you can find, yes, here's some different thread. And yeah, so this is about the from this networks. If you want to get more detailed information, you can double click the network. So you can find, okay, here is the traffic maps between the different VMs and the VM to the external networks. So if you click this one, so you can find the applications from outside to inside, thread, traffic, and another direction. So you can find the applications on this VM. You can find the thread on this VM. You can find the traffic. This is a non-stop traffic, and also we can find, we can check the east or west traffic, the two VMs in the same subnet, in the same networks, and all the traffic is just in the virtual switch. It's not, it should be not in the our switch. And we also can find the traffic from the Leon to the Angel, and the thread, no thread, and traffic. How many traffic from here, from this VM? Yeah, this is we call the insight. It shows you whole picture about your VM's traffic, your virtualized data center's traffic map. And we have some detailed information as same as our traditional firewall. It's a user-based. Yeah, we show you the VM information, traffic, cloud applications, real-time traffic, and concurrent sessions. Yeah, we show you all the information. And we have application-based statistic. It can show you the whole picture about you virtualized data centers application usage. And we have a thread. Okay, last 30. Yeah, so we can find here is the detail, and you can go the whole picture. And also we have a log about the thread, the detail. Yes. So this is a CloudHive, the first feature to the customer. Yeah, we deliver the visibility to each VM. So you got everything about your networks. Then we are firewall. So we can do the policy, and we can do the policy based on VM. You know, I already talked to you. We got all the VMs information automatically from the vCenter. And so that means we have all the VMs names. So everything is based on the VM. You can choose. You can set up a policy from the AV server. From the AV server, and to maybe to another server, to Angel. Yes, you can set up, and by the service, by the applications, and the different applications. You can do the permit and deny, and you can bundle the application layer protection like antivirus and IPS. And so we deliver the protection for each VM. And everything is like our traditional firewall. And we have a attack defense. So you can deploy the attack defense profile to different networks. So we can use this one to do the anti-DDoS, to do the SIM flood, or maybe some protocol abnormal. Yeah, and we can do the proxy, it's a TCP proxy like that one. Yeah. Yeah. So this is how to help you to protect your VMs. So generally, the CloudHive is micro-segmentation solutions for your cloud environment, and for your private cloud environment, and for your virtualized data center. And easy to deploy. CloudHive is a VM-based. It's a VM-based solution. You don't need to install any agent to VM. You just deploy few VMs in your environment, and we can help you to do the protection. And everything is we deployed by a layer 2 mode, so you don't need to do any change for your topology, and for your IP address, you don't need to do any change. Just deploy, and one click. You just need one click, and you can add a protection or remove protection for VM. So this is a CloudHive. We deliver visibility and security for each VM. Thank you for you guys. This is the CloudHive.